Hany joins us. Hany, always good to get your take. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning, Carl. How are you?
Tech is leading for the month. We got some fresh highs on the indices today, largely because of tech's help. How much do you think we're going to get in the way of information given the earnings prints that are on the way?
Interesting. So I think tech has obviously caused a lot of disruption in the last year and a half. I think you're going to continue to see that. I think you're going to see some tech names have blowout earnings. But frankly, I think you're going to see some interesting dichotomy in tech. I think some of the consumer names, some of the consumer names that have been relying on cheap customer acquisition, some of the names that have been relying on heavy marketing and performance marketing, I think you might see some weakness there, primarily because I think consumers have started to go out of the home. And I think a lot of those names are going to have a little bit of weakness in their earnings.
Interesting. I mean, what specifically, which names would you be thinking of when you say that?
You know, it's hard to tell. I mean, I don't want to gather, but I look at across our portfolio. What we've seen is some of the hard tech names, some of the infrastructure technology companies have been exceeding and beating plan, and some of the names that are kind of going direct to consumer and been relying on fairly inexpensive customer acquisition have seen declines or slowness in their business, especially around what's been happening with the privacy and social media and on Apple. I think those effects have started to play out in what we are seeing in this quarter. I think it may be a short-term phenomenon. I think things will come back in Q4, but I think there was a little weakness in some of the consumer-oriented names in Q3.
That's interesting. There's also a call out today out of Loop Capital on some enterprise names. They cut, for example, Palo Alto. They cut Zoom. Their argument is that companies are consolidating in some cases. They believe in this case they're making Splunk their de facto platform. But I do wonder if you think the enterprise is similarly trying to get things into one silo.
So I don't have a preview on the short-term aspects of what's happening in enterprise, but I can tell you this. Long-term enterprise, I'm very bullish on long-term enterprise, primarily because I think you're starting to see enterprises and companies look at their existing infrastructure and saying, hey, it's not modernized. We need to modernize infrastructure. You know, Snowflake versus Oracle, things like that, I think you're going to see. So I'm very bullish on long-term on enterprise. I think short-term enterprise, I think as procurement starts to kind of come back into that, into play, I think companies will do pretty well.
Hany, what about fintech? I mean, we've had this surging pipeline of IPOs, and certainly everybody's focused on what happens with Robinhood later this week. You're an investor there. We've got a big chunk of the allocation going to retail investors as well. What are the key things you're watching?
So I think fintech is one of the industries. I mean, I think every industry is going to get disrupted by technology, whether it's energy, healthcare, even government will get disrupted by healthcare. Fintech over the last 3 or 4 years, we've been investors in the sector primarily because it's been like, you know, financial dinosaurs that have been in play, and they've not really listened to consumer, what consumers want. I think there's some interesting companies that have had a great customer acquisition strategy, and now they're expanding their products. I mean, Robinhood is a great example of that. I think they'll do well. I think you'll see some in insurance. I think you'll see a lot of interesting fintech names that are just going to disrupt the old guard, and that's going to continue to be the same. True for a lot of sectors, including insurance, including energy, including government. I think government is an interesting sector to watch as well. Government procurement for the last dozen years or so has been outdated. They're not buying from startups. They're not buying from software companies. I think you're going to start to see more and more government purchasing of technology.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.